Namaste and welcome to the 22nd of February 2026. Today we're going to be looking into the energy of the day, the numerology of the day, and today specifically I was called to numbers. The numerology deck is here. For whatever reason, I'm not sure, it just called me. We're also going to be talking about, of course, the energy that is opening up today, which we're going to see the expansion of the coming week. And we're gently closing the door to February now because next Sunday is the 1st of March, where, of course, I will be live again next Sunday to celebrate the opening of March, the first month of spring here in the Northern Hemisphere. And a significant number is showing up there as well, like the number 3 carries this significance. I won't go deeper into March yet, but you might already feel it. And today when I was showering, I was like, the meditation for today, what is that? And all of a sudden I saw like the water that came down over me in the shower was filled with this white light. And that brings me back to wanting to share my dream last night, just a piece of it, where I kind of was the observer looking at a solarium, like an old-fashioned, like, you know, tan box that you would go into, filled with this ultraviolet light. And in front of me was a pressure box, like, where first you had to go into the solarium, then you had to go into this pressure box, like, you know, to decompress, like when a diver goes very deep in, how if he goes up too fast or if he or she goes up too fast, they're going to have to decompress, otherwise they get sick. So it was like that kind of chamber, like a compression chamber. And I was watching this woman coming out, and she had gold around her eyes, so she was more like a mix of a human and a robot. She had this gold over her eye, and she had some kind of gold over here on the right side where the liver's at, and she had a belt attached under her, like under her butt cheeks and around, like a chastity belt kind of. But it was a regular belt, a brown belt with a gold buckle. And I realized that that woman coming out of that pressure chamber was me. First she had been in the solarium, then the pressure chamber, and then she would come out. And I was like, I wonder what it is about my femininity that's not seeing as a human, but more seeing as this very, maybe solid, and maybe it is golden, so it's nothing impure, but it might be a mechanical perception of things. And how is that attached to how I live my life? That's why it's connecting to the liver area. And how is that holding me back, maybe sexually, or maybe like as a woman? There's nothing that shows more that we are women more so than our vagina or our breast area, right? But especially the vagina. That's where we differentiate a lot from men. So I was like, So there's definitely something about solarium as in light, like intense light, that transforms the surface at least. So we might perceive something, some kind of enlightenment that changes us on the surface. But then we have to go into the pressure chamber to be tested, kind of. Like, can you withstand the pressure? Can you become the embodiment of the enlightenment that you just got? And then coming out, how has that transformed you? And then when I was in the shower and I saw this white light coming with the water, it was like, okay, we're definitely cleansing. There's transformation happening. We're cleansing from the old and we're entering something new. Whatever that is for each individual, I don't know. You will tell me, I hope, by commenting on the video or posting it in our group. But there is something opening up, and it's almost like we're not really able to see it yet. But I do connect it to our bodies. So how we connect in unity within ourselves between the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual body. So the meditation You are invited today to take a long, nice shower and see the light as the water and really connect with your feelings. Because when I was standing there, it's like, feel the water, like really connect to your emotional body. How do you sense things? How does that connect to your physicality? Can you sense things without a physical structure? No is the answer. So use your physicality to connect with your emotional body and feel the water. And then your spiritual connection, see that light pouring down. Maybe even because the first thing it hits is going to be your crown chakra, your mental structures right underneath here. So do the cleansing of that. And I do believe that it's for us to have an easier time uniting internally. Then let's look at the number of today. It's a number 16 day. Ugh, it's the Tower. Hey boss, I'm sick. Can't go to work. I just realized it's a Tower day. Or hot, I can't really go because I just pulled the Tower from the tarot. We should actually have those days. That should definitely be a day off. So there is an energy of take the day off. Decompress. Allow yourself to become the embodiment of all the changes that you've gone through. Like, allow it to settle in. Allow it to connect to your four bodies so that you can become a whole structure. And to support this, again, I don't know if you can see it. I've never used this book, so it's very difficult to hold open. But I was guided to read the number 16 to give all of us a different perception of the Tower, because I was guided to use the Good Tarot, and the Good Tarot in this deck, or the Tower in this deck in the Good Tarot, represents a different energy in, like, compared to other decks. It represents an energy of a bureaucratic structure that we have to face, maybe even change or pass to move on in life. And how does that connect to what we're facing these days? When you become whole, and this is the answer, when you become whole within, you will start to see the flaws of the system that we each have participated in the creation of. We also inherited something from our ancestors, like from our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents and so on and so forth, that they built a society. And I do believe everyone has meant well, but fact is, what we're seeing right now is that people are getting more and more offline by going more and more online. So we are seeing that the structures that we've built, the bureaucracies that we have built, the systems are not good for our union. So there's something about either challenging a system or simply just surpassing it. Like, how can you not let it take any space in your life? What can you do to remove yourself from as much of these structures as possible? To help us with that, I was guided to read this, so I will now. This card indicates a time of major transition and transformation that will result in significant personal growth. By drawing this card, you have entered a period of spiritual awakening and rebirth, where you have the opportunity to align with your higher self and the overarching principles that guide you. This is where you surrender to the changes around you and prepare to be the best you can be. In this case, I want to say no, it's more about how can you avoid those structures, or how can you possibly change them just by being you, and maybe even showing up as a unified soul, like soul, body, and an emotional structure. I'll continue. You're being encouraged to trust and believe that a magical future awaits. But first you need to let go of the old in order to experience the new. Take time to reevaluate your core values and re-examine your life. Then eliminate any superficial foundations that don't align with your higher self and your dreams. This is a time to recognize and rise above any ego-based thoughts and behaviors, for humility and authenticity are the keys to your success. In order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life. Cycles that are leading you toward a higher level of understanding and awareness. This transformation is inevitable, so know that this is a very exciting time, for you are about to become the best you can be. It very much relates to the union that I've been talking about, like from last Sunday until now. How are we to really grow even more aware, like more and more aware every day, and conscious about when we are leaving ourselves. Yesterday we went to Jutland, where I have my bonus sister, her husband, and their son. And we had a great day. And I was talking to her about this, like, how is it that we are all, when we engage with other people, how is it that we show up whole, or we show up in a reduced version of ourselves? And it's almost like the universe is saying right now, do not reduce yourself anymore. Whatever it takes, whatever you need to do, whoever you need to have in your life, like attract into your life, and maybe even more of the people that are already good for you, or who are you to push out of your life and say, no more, I can't do this any longer. Do that then. Because whatever reduces you is not good. And we have to grow more aware and conscious of it on the go. For that, we need the cleansing. We need that, okay, there's definitely transformation happening. We have a Tower Day, the 22nd of the second month. 222 adds up to a number 6. In the year 2026, which adds up to number 10. 6 plus 10 equals 16. When we reduce the 16, we get a number 7. That's the Chariot. He wants us to move. But it's also in the physical. Even if 7 is the conclusion of everything, it's everything coming together. It's the 7 tones in the scale before you hit the new octave. It's the 7 colors of the rainbow. It's the 7 days of the week. It's all about completion. It's completing you. And that is what the week starts off with. It's a completion of you. And whatever is not you, out. Whatever does not align with you, out. Whatever does, bring it closer. Like, bring your friends closer. Bring the people you love closer if they are aligning with you. Okay, now let's move on to the cards. It's a very special energy. It is. And I want to give this heads up. On Sunday, we have the 1st of March. March is the 13th universal month of the year, because we are in a 10-year and the 3rd month is opening, which means a 13. That is death, and death represents transformation. Today, I was called to read the number 16, which in the tarot is the Tower, but in this one, in the numerology deck, it talks about death and rebirth. We're already sensing what's to come in March. So we are prepping. This week, and that's always how it is, when we start to see the doors are closing to a month, it becomes more and more like we might even be pushed or pressured a little more. Maybe that's also the compression box that I saw. Like, we have to pull ourselves together and test ourselves in reality. Am I capable of holding myself entirely, uniquely me as a whole, in union with myself without decreasing anything that I am when I go out and I'm amongst these people? If not, let it fall. Let it fall. We got 2 cards here to begin with. They came out together. So apparently they would like to be read together. Now let's see what else we've got for this coming week. So far it looks really nice though. So it also means that we're going to be enlightened. There is enlightenment happening. There is wisdom being poured into us like in a solarium. It was very, very unique for me to see that. Okay, the second, we also get 2 cards. That's interesting. And here we have the last. At the bottom of the deck, we have 3 of Earth. I love this card. It represents that which has come down into a physical representation. It is collaboration. It is everything rising to meet whatever challenge, whatever it is to be not confronted with, but met. We are meeting an energy that demands collaboration, but it also means unity. Like the 3 of Cups talks about community, talks about how are we 3 lifting everything. So how is it that the 2 energies create the 3rd? But here with the 3 of Earth, it's not talking about the cups, the emotional body. This is talking about how everything is coming together in the physical for you, with you. And right underneath that, we have the Magician. So like the number 16 said, a magical time awaits, a magical future awaits. And it is about really to come in, but not with you in solitude, but with you in collaboration with others. And you might even see that you are going to attract someone with whom you can create the 3rd energy, or you will attract 2 people into your life where you 3 are going to see magic unfolding between you. The first cards that wanted to come out to represent this week was, and he was on top, the beautiful King of Fire. He holds his heart open and he is enlightened. Look at that. He has the aura around his head. He is enlightened, but he does not carry it just in his head. He carries it in his heart. There is an enlightenment of the heart happening. Your heart is your second brain. It is a very, very smart memory, like that will connect you not only to your, in this physical life, memory, but to the past, maybe even down the patriarchal line, like the father, the grandfather on your father's side, the great-grandfather on your father's side. There is a DNA connection here. There is a memory that wants to be seen, that wants to be met, that will enlighten you. And then we get the 8 of Fire. And in my other favorite deck, it's called Swiftness, the 8 of Wands. It's about swift communication, things happening fast. And here with the panda, it's almost like, yeah, well, the panda is not the fastest animal in the forest, is it? It's a very unique animal. So I'm being called to look into that, because we also have a beautiful energy sitting on the panda, but it's like the panda is close to extinction. Why? Because it only eats bamboo. It is not adjustable. It does not just adapt to its surroundings. It demands bamboo. It demands a certain environment. Otherwise, it's just going to die. And in this case, we're in connection to the patriarchal line. An enlightenment of the heart, like embodying those characters, whatever gifts they have to give. Here it's like, yes, it is something that might move slowly. But it's because, and this is important, and now we really need to listen. This is just coming through right now. So, you are not meant to adapt to what is. Talking about the systems I was beginning this video with, right? The bureaucracies. You are not meant to adjust. They are meant to adjust to you. And that's what the panda shows us. The panda says, I only eat bamboo. Sorry. If you don't give me what I want and what I want to eat and what I can survive on, I'm just going to die. I'm not going to breed. I'm just going to die. Which connects me to many countries in the West have a decrease in the amount of children being born. What we're seeing is that the world and the West is in decay, is rotting. So the young people stop having children. They just don't want to have kids. or they become homosexual or transsexual or any of those types of sexualities, because the environment no longer holds health, warmth, and whatever they need to reproduce, then they would just rather die. And that is actually what will happen eventually. It calls for extinction. If we stop reproducing, we will be extinct at some point. And that's what this says. But it also says that everything around you will change when you are in demand. And that's why I love the panda here, because the panda says, I want this, give it to me. Or I will just move. I will move to where I can get bamboo. And people are actually right now in China doing everything they can to plant bamboo so that the pandas will have something to eat. They go and they get them from nature into zoos to help them reproduce, to help feed them so that they won't go extinct. And it's almost like when you demand something, the world around you will move with you. It will do what you need. And we are to be open to the help that's coming. This is not what the card says if you read it in the book. This is a pure channeling. So, and that's why imagery is brilliant. Imagery is brilliant because it says so many other things. And we are to connect more to that than what any book says, right? Second, we get the High Priestess. She is a spiritual being. She's coming out from underneath the veil. She starts to see the veil is lifting. She gains clarity. She holds it. She's fertile. She's not only fertile as a human, but spiritually fertile. She is bringing new to the world through her. She's coming out with something. What is she coming out with? What is the energy? Notice the colors here, right? Then we have the Four of Air. Four of Air says, it seems tough. It seems tough. How can you bring enlightenment to people if they don't want to be enlightened? You can't. And that's why she can seem like someone who is just giving up. It's too difficult. But like, brace yourself is what it says. Brace yourself. Things are happening. Like, this is also gentle emergence. That's what my husband does when he's channeling a lot, or he calls it webbing. Sometimes it just gets too much and he needs gentle emergence. So instead of going into a mode of, I'm overwhelmed, he goes in and he meditates and, just takes time out to breathe and maybe even sleep. Gentle emergence, because it moves in. And this is getting out of your head. Because the thing is, let's say that the High Priestess is clairvoyant, she's a medium, she channels, she's clairaudient, whatever, clairsentient. Here, it's like, no, I'm too much in my head. I have to bring it down. So the Four of Air says rest, replenish, restituate, whatever. Gentle emergence is happening. It takes time for it to move in and become what it wants to become, because it has to leave your mental body and go into your emotional body. Like when we get a message as a medium, we get the message through clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, or claircognizance. It is information, it's data that's being poured into our skull, into our brain. But it's so important to feel what it wants to say, not just not just the words, but what does it feel like when it moves in? Like when I was seeing the light in the shower, I was like, engaging with the feeling, the sensory system. Like, how is the water feeling on my body? What is the light doing? So even if I think, it is a thought process that moves me into my sensory system, that moves me into my body. Like my physical body, that helps me feel. And it sends energy back into my mental structure. And it connects back to my spirit. And this is actually what we're seeing here, that it is a week for that energy because it wants to come out through you, through all four bodies where you are united in the heart. So enlightenment is definitely coming, but you have to make sure that you're in the right environment. Let things get and move in slowly, because when you do that, when you are in that gentle emergence, things can start to happen quickly. last, we get the messenger fire. There's definitely something new, a new project, new structures, new ways of perceiving things, new ways of connecting to who we really are. And I love the looks of this beautiful woman here. She holds, again, look at the light. She's enlightened, and she's enlightening her crown. She's carrying that crown of light, just like he does over here, right? That's just an aura that is around him, or a halo. And here, she's being crowned. But so I really love the passage here, that first we meet this one, we become enlightened, and it enlightens our hearts. But we have to see everything that we are in unity so that we can be crowned. This is really about the physical. This is not physical. This is highly spiritual. So is she, highly spiritual. But here, the light becomes candles in her crown. So that is a very physical experience. That very much connects to the Three of Earth, really. 8, 2, 4, that's 6, 14, 17. So we see 17 in total here, which is about the star, which is about channeling, which is about the spiritual body being made physical. And through that, the mind comes in, and through that, and through the physical and spiritual, the emotions become real. That's so interesting. We get physical activity, as in the numerology here. Physical activity. But it almost feels vice versa. Again, look at the number 6, 7. That's 13. Again, we're being called to next Sunday. I want to have an extra one, because physical activity more connects to, if you are to be physically active in any way, choose to lay down, gentle emergence, rest, restituate. Okay, wow. Yeah. This is, okay, we have a lot coming out here. Okay. So my question is, this physical activity, what does it really want to tell us? What is it really about? Manifestation. Completion. Self-discipline and change. 41 reduces to 5, and we have a 5. There's, and the number 5 connects to the physical body, like our 5 fingers, 5 toes. Change demands self-discipline. We can't change without having discipline. We need to discipline ourselves in terms of, like I said, we go back to the awareness and consciousness. So we go, where am I at right now? Am I in union with myself, or am I reducing myself to some extent? Okay, I am. Okay, what can I do to change that right now? I can do this. So awareness and consciousness demands discipline, self-discipline. We're manifesting something really beautiful, like with the 3 of Earth, like I said before, and the Magician underneath. There is an energy of, I talked about completion with the number 7, right? But here it shows up as number 9. Number 9 is the completion of a cycle, like the Hermit, before it's the last of the single digits before we go to the double digits or go back to the 0. And here we're being shown the last 2 steps of the single digits, but together they add up to 17 as well. So, which is the star, right? So it is a manifestation, maybe something you've been working on for a while, like to manifest in your life, that is now going to find its completion, which means actually manifesting. Or maybe a change in your manifestation that you were to complete because maybe you didn't get the entire meaning of it. Like when the ego is involved, we don't always get the entire meaning of a manifestation. But physical activity, I need to look this up because now I'm curious to see, because I get the more like gentle emergence. Use your physical body, your activity, to be self-disciplinated, to create the change. So you rest, you meditate, you might go for a walk, sit on the beach, whatever. That's what I feel. It talks about reducing stress hormones and releases of feel-good endorphins in the brain. Creating an overall sense of well-being, self-confidence, and peace. Because you attract what you feel. When you consistently feel good, you invite blessings into your life. So it talks about your physical health, like do yoga or something. But I want to say this though. It's not about running this week. It's not about putting that kind of pressure on you, because that pressure, you will meet that solidly through your enlightenment. So I want to say this. It's very much about your well-being, but it's more about gentle emergence. And that can be yoga. That can be a walk. That can be a swim. But it's not to put any like hard pressure on yourself, because that's not going to be good. It's interesting. Okay, it actually came out and fell on top of these two, and the one with the panda. And what I just saw at the end of what it says in the book here, I want to share that because that aligns. In order to improve your current situation, like the panda with the bamboo, right? You're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life that are encouraging you to exercise your body, treat yourself well, whether walk, swim, dance, yoga, blah, 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 all of that. It's about improving the quality of life. So I want to say this in connection to the panda, because that's how I have to read it, right? It's about removing yourself from the toxic environments that are not good for you and bring yourself into environments that are. Or be in solid demand of what you need and have people bring it to you. Because you're so special, you're so cute, you're so unique, like a panda. They're so cute, right? We don't want them to extinct. We want them to live. We want them to multiply. This is interesting. Change, self-discipline, manifestation that finds its completion. But the first card was physical activity, landed on the 8 of fire and the King of fire. Enlightenment is coming when you do something good for yourself. I want to say that. You need to do something good for yourself. We're closing the door to February. We're closing the door to the 12th universal month, which represents the Hanged Man, the new perceptions. It has happened, but now it will intensify. Right? It's always intense in the first week and the second, or the last week. First, last. Because if you haven't already done the work, you will be pushed to do it. However, it doesn't feel at all negative to me. It feels like something that we have really needed, something that we have prayed for even. And it's going to come. It's happening this week. It's going to be really good. And I'm looking forward to opening the door to March with you this coming Sunday, a week from today. Take a shower, feel the water on your body, and see spiritually the light that it carries and that it cleanses you. This is the meditation now. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Always do that to release and reset. Enjoy. Enjoy your Sunday. Be good to yourself. And be the panda. Be cute. Be lazy. Be playful. And be in demand of what you need. You are okay. It's okay for you to be picky. You are allowed. Have a blessed Sunday. Namaste.